Hello students, I am Mrs. Madhvi Mhatre. I welcome you all in the next academic year, that is 2021-22. You have entered 10th standard now, and this is our first lecture of Mathematics 1. Before starting the lecture, I hope for your good health and I pray for your good health. All of you, please take care of yourself, as you know that the coronavirus is spreading rapidly everywhere. So all of you, please take care of yourself. Please make use of mask and sanitizer wherever possible, and be at home. Stay home and stay safe. Take care of yourself and your family. Now let us start the lecture of Mathematics 1. Before starting the actual syllabus, that is chapter number 1, let us learn about the evaluation of mathematics. Okay, so how the evaluation is done, let us try to understand that. Evaluation consists of two parts. One is written work and second part is internal assessment. So here in mathematics there are two parts. Mathematics 1, that is algebra, which is for 40 marks. This will be your paper 1 of mathematics. And mathematics 2, that is geometry. This is your paper 2. So here you are having two written papers separately. Mathematics 1 40 marks and mathematics 2 40 marks. So written examination will be of 80 marks. And internal assessment will be there of 20 marks. So in this way the total marks are 100. 80 written examination and 20 internal assessment. So 80 plus 20, 100 marks are there for mathematics. Okay. Now let us go further. Here and there we will try to understand the name of the chapters. Here in Mathematics 1 there are 6 chapters. Out of that, first chapter is linear equations in two variables. The same chapter with the same name was present in 9th standard. I taught you this chapter, and that time I told you that the very first chapter of 10th standard is linear equations in two variables. Second chapter is quadratic equation, which is a new concept for you. Third one is arithmetic progression, which is again a new concept. Fourth one, financial planning. In 9th standard you were having the same chapter, but it was omitted due to COVID-19 pandemic. So fourth chapter name is what? Financial planning. Chapter number 5 is probability, which is again a new concept here in mathematics, but this is very easy chapter and short chapter. And last chapter is statistics. Again this same chapter was present, chapter with the same name was present in 9th standard, which was also omitted because of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so in this way we are going to study these 6 chapters. 1 to 6 chapters we are going to study. Now we don't know what is going to happen further, means they may change the syllabus or they may again omit the syllabus, but now we don't have any idea. You know that present year 10th standard examination is still pending. So what is going to happen further, we don't know. Okay, so here now we are going to start with the first chapter today. But before that, let us try to understand the updated format of board's question paper. How the question paper format is. If you want, you can take screenshot of this, or if you want you can write down the format, okay, so that you can study accordingly for your paper. Okay, so here in the question paper there are total 5 questions. Okay, so let us start with question number 1 here. So mathematics 1 question paper pattern will be like follows. Here the paper is of 40 marks and you are allotted 2 hours to solve this paper of 40 marks. Okay, so let us start with the question now. Here question paper, here some notes are given, okay, which are general instructions for you. So let us see what are the notes here. So here the very first note is all the questions are compulsory, means you have to solve all 5 questions. Second thing, use of calculator is not allowed. You have to do all the calculations manually. Then the numbers to the right of the question, they indicate full marks of that question. Next is in question number 1A, the questions are of MCQ type. So in case of MCQ, only the first attempt will be evaluated. If you are writing it again and your answers are different, so the second attempt will not be checked by the examiner, and only your first attempt will be given the credit, or marks will be given to the first attempt only. Then next is for MCQ, again here you don't have to write down answers of MCQ, but you have to write down the correct alternative A, B, C or D. Okay, so here you have to write down question number 1A, then sub question number, and in front of that you have to write down the option alphabet. You don't have to write down the answer, only option alphabet should be written. If it is not written, no marks will be given to you. So these were general instructions. Now let us see the questions. So here question number 1A is like this. For every sub question, 4 alternative answers are given. Choose the correct answer and write the letter of the alphabet of it as it is told. You have to write A, B, C or D. So here 4 marks question it is. So what you have to remember in case of this question is, here there are 4 multiple choice questions of 1 mark each will be asked. You have to write down the correct alphabet for this. Okay, means what, 4 alternatives will be given for each sub question, and you have to choose one correct alternative and you have to write down the correct alternative with bracket. Okay, so here method of solution is not expected, and for 4 marks 4 questions will be given. That means all the questions are compulsory. There is no option here. 4 sub questions, 4 marks, and method of solving is not expected from you. Only you have to write down the question number and the correct alphabet in front of that question number. Okay, so this is question number 1A. Now question number 1B is solve the following sub questions, and this is also of 4 marks. So here in this question, again 4 sub questions of 1 mark will be asked. So here also all the questions are compulsory. There are no options. 4 questions, 4 marks. You have to solve all 4. Okay. Now here the question carries 1 mark and solve the following is given. That means here the method is expected from you. You need to write down the method. For example, if the question is based on yes or no or check whether, then you need to write down the proper justification for your answer. Okay, that is why the question is solved. So here method is expected from you. Okay, unlike question number 1A, here you need to solve these questions. Okay, let us go further. Question number 2A now. Here question number 2A is activity based, and therefore the question is complete and write any 2 activities from the following. That means the question will be given as an activity. There are some empty boxes. You need to complete those boxes. Okay, so in this question 3 activities of 2 marks each will be asked. Okay, that means see here the total marks are 4 and 3 activities will be asked. Out of that you have to solve any 2. Okay, that means here option is given to you. Out of 3 activities you need to solve 2. Now here what you have to keep in mind is the activity based question should be copied down as it is from the question paper. Okay, it should appear as it is. All the statements should be present there, and wherever boxes are present, you also need to draw the boxes. Okay, if the boxes are not drawn, you will lose your mark. Now here in this activity, some steps may be missing, and you can write those steps. You can solve those steps there, but you have to draw the boxes at the proper places according to the question. Okay. Now question number 2b. Here you have to solve 4 sub questions from the given questions, and here 8 marks are there. So that means here every question carries 2 marks. So in this question, 5 sub questions of 2 marks will be asked, and out of these 5 you have to solve any 4. Okay, that means 1 question is given extra. Okay, so here every question carries 2 marks. You have to solve any 4 of them, and here the method is expected from you. You have to write down the complete solution for the given question. Okay, then next question number 3a. Again it's an activity based question. So the question is like this: complete and write any one activity from the following, and it is for 3 marks. That means one question carries 3 marks. So here in this you will be provided with 2 activities of 3 marks each, and from that you have to solve any one. Okay, as I have told you for question number 2a, same instructions you will follow for question number 3a. You will copy down the question as it is there. Okay, as I have said, you may solve some extra steps. You can do that, but the boxes should be drawn according to the question. Okay, then next question number 3b. Attempt any 2 sub questions from the following, and here there are 6 marks. In this particular question, every question carries 3 marks. See, any 2 and 6 means 3 2s are 6. So every question carries 3 marks. Here you will be provided with 4 questions. That means 4 sub questions will be asked to you, and out of that you need to solve any 2. That means 100% options are given. Out of 4 you have to solve 2. Okay. Here the method is expected from you. You have to write down the answer with solution. This is question number 3b. Okay. So let us go further. That is question number 4 now. Attempt any 2 sub questions from the following. It is 8 mark question again. Any 2 and 8 marks are given. That means every question carries 4 marks. In this particular question, here 3 sub questions are asked, and out of those 3 sub questions you have to solve any 2. Now here in this particular question, the questions are challenging. The questions may be from out of text. The questions will not appear from textbook, okay, but they are based on the syllabus. So the questions may not be from the textbook, and they're challenging. That means you have to apply your skill. Okay, so the questions will be based on the syllabus. That means the method will be the same which you have studied in the chapters. Okay, so the questions may not be from the textbook, but they are based on the syllabus. They are not out of the syllabus. Here also the method is expected from you. You have to write down the complete solution. 4 marks questions, so you have to write down each and every step very carefully. Then last question number 5. Attempt any 1 sub question from the following, and it carries 3 marks. In this particular question, 2 questions of 3 marks each will be asked to you, and you have to solve any one out of these 2. Here also the questions are not from the textbook. They may not be from the textbook, and the questions may be open-ended. Open-ended means what? Every child is going to get the different answer. They are going to ask you your personal response. Okay, so these questions are open-ended questions, and they may not be from the textbook, but they are based on the syllabus. Whatever you have learnt in the textbook, they will be from the syllabus. Okay, so question number 4 and 5 you have to prepare well. 8 plus 3, 11 marks. These 11 marks you have to score, and for that you need lot of practice. Okay. So I hope all of you must have understood the paper pattern of Mathematics 1. As I have said, you can write down the paper pattern or you can take out the screenshots and you can keep them with you. Okay. Now let us start with our first chapter. The name of the first chapter is Linear Equations in Two Variables. Here in this chapter we are going to study the methods of solving linear equations in two variables. In 9th standard, two methods of solving linear equations were there. Okay, eliminating method and substitution method. Out of that we have seen elimination method because second method was omitted because of COVID-19 pandemic. But now here we are going to study both the methods again because they are there for 10th standard. And then there are new methods. That is graphical method is one method here. Already two methods are there in 9th standard. So this is third method to solve, that is graphical method. And the fourth method is Cramer's method or Cramer's rule. So these two new methods we are going to solve. We are going to study in this particular chapter, linear equations in two variables. Then further we are going to think about the equations which are not linear, okay, but we can transform them in the form of linear equations in two variables. So such equations we are going to study. And finally we are going to see the application of simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations meaning I have told you that when we think about two or more linear equations at the same time, it is called as simultaneous equation. And application means here we are going to study word problems based on simultaneous equation. Okay, so in this way, chapter number 1 we are going to have these topics. Okay, so let us start with the chapter. So let us first try to understand the concept of linear equations in two variables. Already we have studied this in 9th standard. So this is revision for you. What is the meaning of linear equations in two variables? I hope you all must be ready with your notebook, old notebook, pen, pencil. You can take now because you have not got the new books from the school. Very soon you are going to get the books. The books are ready, but because of this lockdown it is not possible for us to distribute the books. So as soon as the conditions will become favorable, you are going to get books from the school. So till that you can write down the points and the important things here in your old notebooks. You can write in any diary, but please do write somewhere because practice is important. Okay, so let us see the definition of linear equations in two variables. So here linear equation in two variable is an equation which contains two variables, for example x and y, and the degree of each variable is 1. We have studied that when the degree is 1, that time only we say that the equations are linear equations. If degree is 2, they are called as quadratic. If degree is 3, they are called as cubic. So linear means what? The equations with degree 1 and two variables. That means the equation contains two different variables like x, y, p and q, but their degree should be 1. Means highest index should be 1. Okay, so such equations are called as linear equations in two variables. If you want, you can write down the definition. An equation which contains two variables and the degree of each of them containing variable is 1 is called linear equation in two variables. Okay, this we have studied in 9th standard also. Now after this, let us go further and see the general form of the equation in two variables. Okay, or the general form of the linear equation. So here the general form we can write in two different ways. X plus by is equal to c, or x plus by plus c is equal to 0. Okay, we are going to use this general form only. In 9th standard also I told you that we are going to use this form to solve the problems. Okay, so x plus by is equal to c. Actually you can see that they are similar, because c, if you shift to LHS, you are going to get this form. Okay, so x plus by is equal to c. Remember this, both the variables are on left hand side and the constant is on right hand side. This we have studied. So here what we can say is a, b, c belongs to R. That means they are real numbers. They can be positive, they can be negative, they can be irrational, they can be rational. Okay, they belong to real numbers. But the important condition here is that a and b cannot be 0. See, if a is 0, then this variable x will be eliminated. 0 into anything is 0. Then the equation will not be in two variables. Or if b is equal to 0, then y will not be there. Okay, so here this condition is important, that a and b cannot be 0, because we want two variables. C can be 0. There is no such condition for C, but a and b, which are the coefficients of the variables, they cannot be 0. What we can say further here is a, b, c are called as constants, or they are also called as coefficients, and x and y are called as variables, because we can assign different values to them. Their values can be varied, can be changed. We can put the values there, but a, b, c are constant. They are provided to us. We cannot change their values. That is why they are called as constants or coefficients, and x and y are called as what? Variables. Okay, so all of you can write down this general form. It is very important. You must know this form. Okay, because the question may come like this, that justify whether the given equation is linear equation in two variables or not. So that time you need this justification, that here we can compare it with the standard form, and here a and b are not 0. Also the highest index is 1. Okay, so we need to write down the justification. So all of you please write down this standard form or general form here, which we are going to use for solving the problems. Okay, now let us go further. Here, if you are not completed, you can pause the video and you can complete. So here, based on the general form, now we have one activity. If you have textbook, you can open it and you can see this activity. So this activity is about complete the following table. Here you are provided with the equations, and you have to check whether the given equation is linear equation in two variables or not. Okay, that means every equation you have to compare with the standard form and the conditions. So the first one is solved for you. 4m plus 3n is equal to 12. So see, m and n two variables are there. Their index is 1. Okay, so we can say that it is a linear equation because it is in the form x plus by is equal to c. See the second one, 3x square minus 7y is equal to 13. Linear equation, so the degree should be 1 as we have seen, but here you can observe that the degree of variable x is 2, which is not allowed. Therefore, this is not a linear equation in two variables. Two variables are there, but it is not linear because the highest index is 2 here, which is not allowed. Okay. Next, root 2x plus minus root 5y is equal to 16. See here, x and y two variables are present. Their degree is also 1. So it is a linear equation in two variables. So the answer is what? Yes, it's a linear equation. Next, 0x plus 6y minus 3 is equal to 0. See, what we have seen in the condition that a and b cannot be 0. Okay, this is second type of the standard form, that is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. But what we have seen, a cannot be 0. and here a is 0. So this is not a linear equation. Okay, so what is the answer? No. Then next, 0.3x plus 0y minus 36 is equal to 0. Here also you can see that the value of b is 0, which is not allowed. 0 into y is 0. So this is not equation in two variables. Only one variable is present. So again the answer is no. Next, 4 upon x plus 5 upon y is equal to 4. Now see here you can observe that two variables are present, x and y. Okay, but they are in denominator. If we take them in numerator, then its degree will become -1, which is not allowed. We know that the degree should be 1. Okay, so here since x and y they are present in denominator, this is not a linear equation. So the answer is what? No. Last one, 4xy minus 5y minus 8 is equal to 0. See here also two variables are present. You can see that the degree here is 1. But in case of this, we have studied in 9th standard in polynomials that we are adding the degrees if there are more variable present. So here 1 plus 1, the degree of this equation becomes 2, which is not allowed. So again the answer is no. Okay, so all of you please complete this activity. You can see the answers there and how to compare that we have seen. For that you have to keep in mind the general form of the equation, that is ax plus by is equal to c, or x plus by plus c is equal to 0. And the condition is what? A and b cannot be 0. That means here the coefficient of variable cannot be 0. That you have to keep in mind. Also the degree of the variable should be 1. That is important. So here in this case you will observe that only first and the third one, these two are linear equations in two variables, and remaining are not the linear equations in two variables. Okay. Now we are going to see how to solve the simultaneous equations. So let us try to understand the meaning of the word simultaneous linear equations. Simultaneous means at the same time. Okay. So here when we think of two or more linear equations in two variables at the same time, they are called as what? Simultaneous equations. That means we are going to have two linear equations, and we have studied in 9th standard that whenever we think about two equations, there are three possibilities. Either the equations they have infinitely many solutions, or they can have only one solution, or they cannot have any solution. Three possibilities are there. But here in this chapter we are going to think about we are going to solve the problems where the simultaneous equations have a unique solution, or one and the only one solution. Okay, so we are going to see the different methods to solve these simultaneous linear equations. Two methods are already there, or were already there in 9th standard. Out of that, one method I have taught you, and the second method, substitution method, also we are going to see here. Okay, so in the coming lecture we are going to study how to solve the simultaneous equations by using the 9th standard method. Okay, so if possible for you, you can take the textbook. Either you can purchase it from the book depot, but now lockdown is there, or if you have your friends which were there in 10th standard last to last year, you can take books from them. Okay, or if you are not having textbook, do not worry. All the questions I am going to give you here, so you can write down them. Okay, also in the lecture I will give time to write so that you can solve all the problems properly. Okay students, so today if I am starting with the problem, then it is not possible for us to complete the lecture. So I am ending this lecture today. In the next lecture we are going to see how to solve the simultaneous equation by using the methods which we have studied in 9th standard. Okay students, so thank you.